Hey YouTube, it's me again. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last video. I've just been trying to get some stuff together on what I was going to talk about. This video is actually going to extend into a bunch of different parts. I kind of just want to get you guys all caught up right from the beginning until where we are now. So I'm going to be covering a couple months worth of material, so I don't know how long this is going to be, how many videos it's going to turn out to be. I guess it depends on how much of this rambling crap I do. But yeah, so I've got some time right now, so I'm just going to kind of continuously make videos repeatedly to get you guys all caught up so I can fill you in after the next therapist appointment. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is I'm sort of going to cover being transgendered. Signs and symptoms that I've noticed, at least based on my personal experience with Toby. I am going to warn you, if you are a watcher of Toby's channel, that I'm going to cover a lot more personal material on mine than Toby chooses to do so. Toby's not a very open person in general, as far as being able to communicate his own feelings. But I do have his permission to post everything that I'm posting. So I hope you guys can learn something from it or enjoy it or whatever reason you're watching this. I hope it does what it needs to. So Toby and I had only been dating about 2 weeks. We might not even have been actually dating. We might have just been seeing each other or fooling around, whatever it was. It was a weird situation. The first time I remember noticing like a real sign of potential gender identity disorder, because I do have a background in knowing people with gender identity disorder and researching gender identity disorder, being interested in it, and the psychology behind it. I did have some reference points to look at when noticing things that were going on with him. So it all started with an immediate and constant loathing of his chest area. He would constantly say that he didn't want to have boobs, wanted to have a breast reduction, etc. I didn't put much thought into this single action. It was more of a combination of things that started sparking my interest. But when I think back in retrospect, that is the first thing that he made very clear right from the get-go, that he was not comfortable having a female chest and wanted to at least have a breast reduction. Alright, so the first story I'm going to share with you that was kind of a sign or symptom goes in the category of male jealousy. We were at my friend at the time, our mutual friend actually at the time, grad party for her program. She was having a party, and there was a bunch of drunk guys, and they all stripped down to their boxers and decided to go into the river, which was freezing cold at the time. And there was one particular guy who had a decent looking body, and he took off his shirt, and Toby looked at me and said that, is it weird if I wish that I looked like him? That was the first actual instance of Toby making any kind of remarks to me about wanting to look like a male, but I noticed that they happened often, especially in places like the beach, or anywhere where there's a large area of topless men, basically, wishing that he had more arm strength, upper body strength, etc. So that was a big thing. Clothes shopping was another thing. It was really difficult. I'm one of those people where I like to shop, and I especially like to shop for other people. So Toby's wardrobe consisted of clothes his ex-girlfriend had bought him when we met, and I very much wanted to replace most of that. So I would pick out clothing that I thought looked good on Toby, obviously from the men's section. And a lot of the times he would have a problem telling me, no, I can't wear that, that won't look good on me, my boobs will be in the way, etc., etc. Fortunately, I did convince him to buy a lot of things that he was unsure about, that he actually ended up being really happy that we had bought. But the bottom line is he was never fully comfortable wearing men's clothes either, but definitely didn't want to wear women's clothes. Socializing. This is a very big one. When I met Toby, it was through the mutual friend I talked about earlier, Sarah. Toby had just broken up with his ex-girlfriend, and they had been together for almost 4 years, I believe. And he was having a really hard time, and he didn't have any friends because all of his friends in that time frame were mutual friends of his and his ex-girlfriends. So basically, when they broke up, they were all really her friends to begin with, and he didn't have any friends. I quickly realized that the main reason why Toby didn't have any friends is because he's very uncomfortable socially. Doesn't really talk to anybody outside of their designated place, so to say. He has people he talks to at work. He has people he talks to at soccer. He has people he talked to when he was in school. But he doesn't associate with those people outside of those things. He finds difficulty. And we'll jump a little later on to the story about how I brought it up to him. But that's one of the main examples I used. It became pretty clear to me that he didn't feel like he fit in any one category. He didn't have anything really in common with girls other than he biologically was one, and was far too insecure to try and become friends with any males. So there's that. There's also, relating to that, self-esteem. Toby had severe depression issues at times. It was off and on. Not really noticeable to most people. He was pretty good at hiding it, but it was unexplained depression. He didn't know what it was caused by. He could never put a finger on it. He would always say there was nothing to be sad about. He was just sad. So that was another thing that I noticed, and that's another thing to look for, depression. What else do I have? His need to consistently date straight girls. I am Toby's third girlfriend ever. His first girlfriend was one of his best friends in high school, and that was an experimental thing where it turned out she did not want to be with girls, and it was pretty short-lived as far as I know. His second girlfriend had a boyfriend actually when they met, and she was seemingly straight when Toby started flirting with her, etc. So the idea that he liked to be the only girl that any girl had ever dated, he intentionally, he didn't intentionally seek straight girls, so to speak, especially since none of us really turned out to be, dictionary classified as straight since we dated Toby anyway. But the point is that he was really proud of himself. He really liked the fact that he wasn't dating lesbians, so to speak. So that's part of it. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video here, and I have a couple more signs and symptoms that I'm going to go over in the next video. So watch part 2, and yeah, we'll get to that.